Well, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and we are back today because we know who the Canadian men's national team are going to play in September. And I'm very excited about the two opponents. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about it, but we'll pull up the article as well where it was announced. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think this is pretty good news. I think Qatar, Uruguay are two pretty solid opponents. I mean, Uruguay is obviously a top 15 nation. Qatar, I mean, for me, it's just different playing someone outside of CONCACAF. We haven't played someone outside of CONCACAF since January 15th, 2020, Iceland friendly. Since then, we went on some grueling World Cup qualifying CONCACAF matches, as well as just the Gold Cup and whatnot, some friendlies in there. But all in all, these two matches are different, man. And I'm excited to see it. We'll break down a little bit as well. Both Qatar and Uruguay have played a lot of CONCACAF nations in the last little bit as well. So I think that's pretty interesting. But I'm going to first just bring up the article for you guys if you haven't seen the official announcement. It happened earlier this morning. Let's see where it is. There it is. All right. So that's basically it. I only really care about these two sentences. The rest don't really matter. And honestly, like this last sentence here, I think is pretty hilarious. I don't know about you guys. Being a Canadian, I still think it's funny that, the reigning kings of CONCACAF finished first overall. It's the third time that we've won a CONCACAF title. Now, I'm pretty sure that winning qualification to the World Cup through the CONCACAF table doesn't mean a CONCACAF title, but I mean, I don't know. I thought that was funny. So anyone out there right now, just read that and let me know if, Soccer Canada is just being a tad ridiculous. But I'll take it. I'll take the crown if that's how they want to hand it out. But it's the first two paragraphs really that only matter. So I'll put it right there. And when a few more of you guys roll in, we'll read it for you guys. But if you are just joining us, be sure to drop a like and get your guys' thoughts and comments in. And let me know, are you guys happy with this? It's the first time we're going to see Canada play someone outside of CONCACAF since 2020. I feel like that's a pretty big deal. And two decent nations. We'll get into both of them as well. But for right now, we'll just go in the comment sections quickly. Then we'll read through this paragraph. And then we'll take a look into Uruguay. I take a look into Qatar. And I'll try to only keep you guys here until about, noon. Because I'm assuming some of you Canadians care about free agent frenzy. So we'll check that out when the time comes. But Luke Price says loves the friendlies. I do as well. Man. Do you think that we could win against Uruguay? I don't know. It depends. A friendly is very different than a competitive match. For example, if you guys watched the Manchester United versus Liverpool friendly, I mean, Liverpool started their B team, I think, against a United A team, and then they swapped. So, I mean, a friendly can always be different. I assume both teams will probably put pretty strong, especially because it's a two-match window. I'm pretty sure both will be pretty much in A squad. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting, to say the least. I think it'll be a close match. I mean, the United States will grab them to a 0-0 draw. I mean, come on. Whatever the United States can do, we can do better. It's a fact. And I just put yeet in a quick timeout because, why not? I thought it was funny. Came in here, put one message in, immediately in a timeout. But anyways, let's continue on. I think a draw against Uruguay is a must, and we should at least score a goal. It would be nice. Again, it's going to be a friendly in which we can learn a lot about ourselves. It's going to be taking a look at a very good opposition, a team that has gone deep in World Cups, a team that is very high up in Common Bowl. It'll be a good test to see where Canada stacks up. They're defense-minded. They have some good attackers as well. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Kings of CONCACAF. I like it. If you guys are just joining us, let me know. Give me a rating out of 10. Your satisfaction of the two friendlies that Canada scheduled. They promised us a big name, and I'd say that they delivered. I would count Uruguay as a pretty big name. Qatar right now is sitting in 49th in the FIFA Men's World Cup standings, and Uruguay is 13th. So Qatar is 49th, we're 43rd, and Uruguay is 13th. So I'd say it's a pretty big name. But let's take a look at the official announcement. I'm only going to read what I believe is important, but basically it says the Canadian men's national team to play Qatar and Uruguay as part of Canada's continued preparations for the men's FIFA World Cup. Well, I got a 10 already. I like that. I mean, I'd say it's closer to 10, but Canada Soccer have announced a pair of away international matches that are coming up in September 2022 window. Canada are scheduled to face Qatar Friday, September 23rd, and Uruguay Tuesday, September 27th in Vienna, Austria. Now, as you guys know, I would have preferred, obviously, to get some European oppositions. However, they were not available. So, it is what it is. Or an African one as well. But, I mean, both were very difficult. So we had to just come up what we could. My guesses were originally Uruguay and Paraguay. I thought those were going to be the two ones. I thought we were going to take on two CONMEBOL. So I kind of like the diversity a little bit. I think Qatar is a better side than Paraguay. In my opinion, they're relatively similar, but I'm happy with these two friendlies. I definitely am. But these are some interesting quotes here from John Herdman. He said, "We have the opportunity to experience two FIFA World Cup opponents within a similar time frame as the FIFA World Cup schedule, meaning that the matches are only a few days apart and they're against World Cup opposition." I agree with him there. So these two matches will provide our players and staff with the chance to rehearse our on and off field process and systems aligned with the competition's 3-day turnaround. Canada, that's from John Herman. With the second match against Uruguay, it will be a genuine tier 1 test given the depth and quality of their players, which gives us the opportunity to evaluate our squad and our approach. I agree with Herdman's statements. I just think genuinely it's good that Canada's playing someone outside of CONCACAF, and I'm excited to see what they can do. But I asked you guys a question on what do you guys rate these two friendlies, and we got a 10 out of 10 for Kevin. Madkey says an 8 out of 10. I personally would say a 9 out of 10. And like I said, ideally we play someone from Europe because we're playing Belgium and Croatia. We messed up the previous window. They're not available because of Nations League. We didn't get the opportunity, but I'm assuming, like I said, that one match in Qatar before the World Cup starts will be against a European nation, would be my guess. And then obviously an African one to try to match up with Morocco would have been nice as well, but they have AFCONs, so again, it is what it is. You have to make the best of the situations. We're taking on two clubs that are going to the World Cup, and I know, or two countries that are going to the World Cup, and I know that you guys may be like, you know what, it's Qatar, they're 49th in the world, blah, 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 but this is still a nation that won the 2019 Asian Cup. This is a good up-and-coming country. There's a lot of talent there. They did play in the Gold Cup recently as well, so we're going to take a look at that now, actually. But they definitely have some experience playing in CONCACAF, and I think that, honestly, that Qatar match is one that I'd expect Canada to hopefully win. And then the Uruguay one will be a real test, a real eye-opener to see what we can do. Must be Qatar and at least score a goal against Uruguay. Setting up for some goals. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see them score a goal against Uruguay. But let's quickly take a look. So we're gonna exit out of the Canada one, and we're gonna take a quick look just at the Qatar national team and then the Uruguay national team. Just taking a look at their schedules, take a look at some of the matches that they've played, because, like I said, that they have played a lot of CONCACAF nations, and I think they can kind of give us a decent idea of what we're going to be expecting from them. Like I said, I know that they're the host. They got the automatic berth, but this is still a very good nation. This is a nation that has won the Asian Cup. They're the defending champions of Asia. And if you scroll back a little bit throughout their campaign, you're going to see where they participated in the Gold Cup. And in preparation for that, they had a friendly against El Salvador, which they won 1-0. Had 3 group stage matches. They drew Panama 3-3, wiped Grenada 4-0, and had a good win against Honduras 2-0. They had their quarterfinal rematch against El Salvador where they won 3-2. And then they lost out to the U.S. 1-0. I believe there was a couple missed penalties, or at least one missed penalty. I remember that being a bit of a wild match, but the U.S. won that, and then the U.S. obviously went on to win the Gold Cup. So right in a row, man, there's 2, 4, 6 matches that Qatar played against CONCACAF nation. Then after that, I mean, they had a nice matchup against Portugal, a couple of them. But it's not too bad. So that's who we're gonna place for team number 1. We'll get back in some of the comments, but I'm excited to take on Qatar. I really am. I think that's gonna be a good test. It's a good nation. And like I said, that they're familiar with playing CONCACAF, so they should hopefully give us a run for our money as well. Blah, blah, blah says that it's a 9 out of 10 win, or 9 out of 10 for the two friendlies, and I agree with that. Great news. I think it's great news as well. But Wheeler broke it yesterday. There was rumors that maybe Paraguay sent out an invitation, but I'm happier with these two. These two are going to the World Cup. They're going to be doing some good preparations as well. But now we take a little look at Uruguay. This is who they have played, and they have some CONCACAF in them as well, man. If you take a look at their last window in June, they had 3 matches actually played. They played Mexico where they won 3-0, the U.S. where they drew 0-0. They had that canceled friendly against Jamaica, which was rescheduled to a big 5-0 win against Panama. So we can take a little look too at maybe what to expect. So obviously there's some big names in this Uruguayan side. I mean, you got Cavani, who got a goal and 2 assists there. Valverde is there. Lucas Torreira. Rossi was substituted in. I don't think Swerve's in that window, but so it's a nice little look there. That's a team. Let's take a look at the team that took on the U.S. too. So the U.S. played a pretty strong lineup there. They had Ferreira. So I'd say this is almost a full strength squad. They have their world famous MMA midfield with Aaron Long and Zimmerman at the back. Scally, Yetelin's in there. So yeah, Johnson. But this is their side. So Uruguay lining up in a back 3. It's kind of interesting. They don't usually play that. They have Gomez up front, Darwin Núñez as well. Godin's still back there. So there's a lot of good players in there. Uruguay will torch the Canada defense. I don't know about that, man. No offense to Uruguay. They couldn't even score against that defense. Aaron Long, Walker Zimmerman, Joe Scally, and DeAndre Yetelin, and you couldn't break that down. I don't know, man. I'm curious. I'm very curious to see how this Uruguay side will line up, will match up against us. But I think taking a look at this U.S. match will give John Herman some ideas how to play. I mean, seeing that the U.S. lined up in a 4-3-3 where Uruguay went with that 3-5-2 system, not something that they play very regularly, but there's still a lot of dangerous players in there. It could be fun. Are you okay with the money problem? Another cancellation will be really bad. I mean, if there's another cancellation before one of these 2 matches, man, we are in serious trouble. I hope that there's not, and I don't think that there will be. They're working on it behind closed doors. The players have proper legal representation. I'm not as worried about that as, I mean, that was a big article that came in by Rick Westhead. I won't talk on it too much. But I mean, he clearly painted a picture. But I mean, there was some interesting tidbits of information in that. But like I said, I don't want to speak on it too much because, I mean, you know, I'm a little biased. But so you guys can take that as what you will. It's a touchy situation. It's one that, you know, when no one bet on Canada soccer, Media Pro did. So now I don't know. TSN are trying to sneak their way back in there, and Westhead writes for TSN. So that's all I'm gonna say. Read between the lines. Just a few interesting quotes in there. And Canada Soccer put a thing out last night too, so they addressed some of it. So, you know, I don't know. Do your own due diligence. Do you think with the Paraguay rumors before the announcement they may try 3 friendlies? I don't know. Does anyone know of any nations that are actually playing 3 matches this upcoming window? I was trying to look for that, and I don't know if I actually found any. I don't think so. Honestly, I think that there's a potential Paraguay were probably trying to see if Canada was interested, and Canada might have already had their 2 friendlies lined up. Knowing that they butchered the last window, I feel a statement from Canada was to play 2 nations going to the World Cup. That's my opinion. I think Qatar, I think Uruguay are good matchups. Like I said, I know that Qatar is the host, but they're still a good side. Odds are that they probably would have qualified throughout qualifications anyways, defending Asian champions. So I like the matchup. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring, but I don't believe Paraguay. I think that was just a rumor. I think that they were interested in playing us, and that's maybe why the rumor was shut down so quickly, because we had our matchups already. So I wouldn't read too much into these friendlies, though. No, and that's fair. I mean, they're friendlies. You don't read too much into friendlies. You use them as preparation. You use them. I like what John Herman said in his quotes, that he wants that World Cup vibe. He likes the fact that they're playing 2 World Cup competition, and then they're doing it kind of in a World Cup schedule framework. They got a few days to recover. Maybe he'll switch up his squad like he would. Because a lot of you guys know when you follow World Cup, the first starting 11 for the first game, there's always a little bit of change for that second one, and then you usually finish strong, or you go hard for the first 2. It's similar to a Gold Cup or anything else. It's just you need to balance out your squad. So I think having this little 3-day game, the gap between the 2 games is going to give an opportunity to see, all right, this is who I want to play. This is maybe the pieces that can go for the 2 games. Like Atiba Hutchinson's a perfect example. He will not start both, in my opinion. So we'll see something like maybe Mark Anthony Kaye jump in there. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm excited to see what we can do. And like I just genuinely said, I mean, we're playing a nation outside of CONCACAF. It's a W. All around, it's a W. The South American teams play fast, but with less control, except for Brazil. Our transition game will capitalize on Uruguay. Yeah, that's the interesting thing as well. I think with Uruguay knowing to be a very defensive sound side, but with some pretty scary attackers. I mean, Nunes is obviously breaking through. You still have Suarez and Cavani. I mean, they still have that core from almost like the 2010 World Cup, almost seems like. I mean, Diego Godin obviously is getting way up there, but Jimenez is an excellent center back. They're going to be a scary team. Freddy Valverde can break in transition. He does that with Real Madrid. He can play on the inside and one of the center mids. He can play even at a right mid. Is it going to be a scary looking team? But I'm curious to see kind of the chess match that goes up, because I think Canada is very good at sitting back and hitting on the break. And I kind of think that Uruguay does that as well, just because they've always had that blocks of 4, the 4-4-2 system. I think this will be a very intriguing one. And I think Qatar should be a decent matchup as well. But I would, I don't know, man. I would take a look and think that, we could go pretty toe-to-toe with both of these sides. Uruguay rotated 10 players versus the United States from the 3-0 game. Yeah, well, we can take a look at the Uruguay 3-0 match as well. Still, I mean, my point still stands. You had 45 minutes to do something. You got outpossessed by the U.S. Shots you guys got, shots on target were pretty similar. But yeah, I know, it's a friendly. Again, like you got to take it from what it is. But you did have a pretty convincing win against Mexico, so we can take a look at that as well. Possession was pretty even. Shots were 4-2. Total shots were 10-10. 3-0 was the final score. Mexico played pretty strong starting 11. They went with the 3-4-3, not their usual. And Uruguay went with the 4-1-4-1. Yeah, Araujo out at right back, Jimenez. Yeah, that's more like probably the starting 11 you're going to see. Nunes on the bench. You still don't have Luis Suarez in there. But yeah, that was an impressive win. We really should be trying to get a game with a ruthless team. European. I mean, like I said, the one preparation match before the World Cup has to be a European nation. It just, to me, it has to be. I doubt we'll get it like a top 10 nation. Like I said, maybe like a Poland. That's kind of what I'm expecting, but we shall see. I'd rather Canada play Uruguay than Paraguay, to be honest. I do as well. My guess was going to be we play Paraguay and then Uruguay, but either way, yeah, I agree with you. Uruguay is always a better competition than Paraguay, but I mean, Paraguay's a decent side. Like, I don't know. What's the development pipeline looking for from the CPL? Does Wright play in the... Yes, Wright plays for York United in the CPL. There's some decent players coming through the CPL. I mean, Krifa Yao is a great one. He's on loan there. Taron Campbell, Hojarapur. I don't know if any of these guys will be at... I think the most likely situation you're going to see a CPL player playing for the Canadian men's national team would be if Daniel Henry signs a... Because, I mean, Daniel Henry is still a free agent right now. We'll have our transfer stream tomorrow. But, I mean, I could see him maybe signing somewhere in the CPL, and then potentially that could be your CPL team. But I don't know. Only 2 matches FIFA window, can schedule another, but players won't be required to be released. Jeffrey, appreciate the updates. That's interesting. And yeah, I mean, that's where I mean, this is for preparation. This is the last window really before the World Cup begins. I mean, there's no point of scheduling a third match, especially if clubs want their players back. So it's an interesting one. My guess is more than likely we'd only see the 2 matches. And I mean, after Jeffrey's points here, which we appreciate, I'm going to double down on that. Uruguay is a top 10 team in the world right now. They are really good. I don't know about top 10. Let me bring up the FIFA men's rating. Take a look. I think Uruguay is definitely a top 15. But let's see. I mean, the top 10 right now is Brazil, Belgium, Argentina, France, England, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, Denmark. Germany's on the outside looking in. So yeah, for me, Uruguay is not a top 10. They're definitely probably a top 15. The US are definitely not a top 15. I don't know how they squeezed in there. Neither is Mexico. Mexico's in 12th. US is in 14th. I'd put Germany in the top 10. Maybe Denmark's damn good as well. I don't know. For me, yeah, Uruguay's a top 15. Croatia's in 15th right now. They're in our group. Belgium's 2. And Morocco is 22. We have a tough group. Hi, Josh. Hello, my friend. Daniel Henry to York or Forge, please. I'd assume if Henry is gonna be going, man. I assume if Henry's gonna be going to the CPL, it would probably be Forge. But yeah, I don't know. BBB winning the Bundesliga, calling it now. Agents is here. How you doing, my man? No, it will not, my man. No, it will not. Both games will take place in Vienna. Yes, they will. And if you guys are just joining us on the stream, as always, be sure to drop a like, drop a sub as well if you're new, and let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the friendlies. Because this is great news. If you're a Canadian national team fan, this is a great news. We get to play 2 nations outside of CONCACAF, 2 nations that are going to the World Cup, and really, really excited to see what this Uruguay match is going to be all about. Especially seeing that Mexico and the U.S. both took Uruguay on. Uruguay handled Mexico pretty easily, 3-0, drew the U.S. Excited to know what venue that they will play in when tickets will go on sale. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Let me know your guys' predictions as well for the final score against Uruguay. I'm going to say, I'll give you my predictions. Doesn't mean anything because we don't know what the squads are. But I'm going to say a 2-0 win against Qatar and a 1-1 draw against Uruguay. I think that there'll be a lot of substitutions throughout. I think that, I don't know. I have a feeling that there's gonna be an early goal and then a late goal. Daniel Henry will not be joining FC Edmonton. I'm sorry, my man, he will not. FC Edmonton have basically just all loanies. Daniel Henry will not. I'd assume if Daniel Henry is gonna sign in the CPL. I mean, I think Forge is really the only option, in my opinion. Dortmund's best player is Reyna by far. No. Reyna was linked to a loan move to Rangers, which I thought was funny. Any news on Ike Ugbo? No real news, man. All the last I've heard, is that he's not going to sign for Troyes. He is not welcome at Genk. He basically was told to find a new club. He scored 5 goals in 14 appearances. I mean, yeah, I don't know. My guess is he'll probably land a job in Liga somewhere, or potentially Turkey. I could probably see going for him. Canadians have a lot of success over there. But yeah, 0% chance Gio's going to be going to Madrid, my man. Sorry. That's probably, I think the more likely of the two is him going to Rangers. Gio hasn't played at all, really. And when he does, he plays on the wing. Doesn't look very good. So, yeah, I don't know, man. What are your 2 predictions? Yeah, you guys can let me know your predictions as well. I mean, we don't know the squad, but this is just a random bold claim. I'm going to say 2-0 against Qatar, 1-1 against Uruguay. Henry is going to TFC. It would make sense, wouldn't it, to return to TFC? Don't you guys think that makes sense? Daniel Henry needs a club. In my opinion, there's no way that John Herman isn't going to invite him to the World Cup. He's one of John Herman's guys. But man, he needs to play. Like, that's a fact. He needs to play. And I don't know if he can even find an MLS club where he'd be a starter. I feel like TFC could be an option just because, he's got connections there. He needs to stay healthy. Salcedo just went back to Liga MX. Like, that kind of makes sense to me. But I don't know, man. He hasn't been able to stay healthy very much. He hasn't played a lot. A little nervous, man. Who's your favorite retired Canadian player? Oh, baby. Dwayne De Rosario, for sure. For sure. He was my guy. As a TSC fan, can we use another center back after Salcedo left? So Henry is more than welcome at the depth piece. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't know if there's a job out there for him in the MLS to start. The only one I could potentially think of is TFC. And even if he went there, I don't know with Mvinga being healthy, O'Neal there, I don't even know if he would start. But I think just going back home would give him a good opportunity to settle down, hopefully get some minutes. I don't think it's crazy to think that he may land himself a job in the CPL, man. Like, I don't think it's that crazy. Because I just don't know if there's a starting role for him out there in the MLS, except for maybe that homecoming with TFC. But I still don't think he'd walk into that squad. The only news was Vest saying that it was not going to happen. What's that? Which one? Elaborate, Justin. I don't know which point you're talking about. The Geo one, probably? Josh with the Geo slander. Not with the slander. Not with the slander. But, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't very good last season. There's no reason to think that he's going to stay healthy. And there's 0% chance that Madrid are interested in him. Justin Smith should be on the Cayman's national team. I don't know about now. But I think that if he has a good opportunity to shine this season in Liga, there could be a good opportunity for him. He was the one bright spot of that U20 campaign. I think that this is going to be an opportunity for him to play a lot, to develop his game, and I'm excited to see what he can do. I think that it's likely that he represents Canada instead of France because I just don't know if he's going to hit the heights to make that French side. He's already represented us now in a competitive U20 tournament, so I think signs are looking good. I just need to see how his development continues because, I mean, after this World Cup, Victoria, Henry are probably not going to be there for the near future, so I don't know, man. It's going to be curious to see who's going to step up, who's going to be able to take one of those CB positions. And Justin Smith is also a very good CDM. So, I mean, but we're desperate for center back. So I'm hoping he develops more in a back three. Are any of the Friendlies home games? I want to see them. They are not, my man. They are over in Austria, both of those matches. And then the next one will be in Qatar, the last friendly before the World Cup starts. Any news on Jonathan David? Is he staying at Lille? My assumption right now is probably yes. But again, anything can change. I think that if the proper project comes across Jonathan David, maybe like a club, obviously like Bayern, even like Juve, maybe Napoli, like a project like that he's interested in, I think that he would jump at. But unless it's one that really suits him, like I don't know about like a West Ham or someone not in the top six in the Premier League. I think Jonathan David's pretty specific about the type of club he wants to go to. Obviously, going to Bayern could be a dream, but for Jonathan David, I don't know if he's the man to replace Lewandowski. I don't know if they're going to put that kind of faith in him. Seems like Bayern don't want Lewy to leave. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of like up and down type rumors, and from what I understand, it just kind of seems like with Paulo Fonseca coming in. I did a video over on One Soccer, so if you guys want to hear my reasoning for David to leave versus go, I did a pretty in-depth video on it. It's over on One Soccer. It's one of their featured videos, so go check that out. And I talk up Paulo Fonseca. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's done some wonderful things at Shakhtar and at Roma. I think with Lille, man, he will get them going. And Jonathan David just played his first match under Fonseca, scored 2 goals and got an assist. Fonseca's always been good at developing strikers as well. So one more season playing in a much better Lille side, I'd assume. Playing every single match, getting fit, leading up to the World Cup. I don't think it's a bad thing. Shine at the World Cup, get your big move. But that's why I said, like, I don't think he's overly rushed now. I think that he's a little bit more comfortable. Jocelyn Gourvenic was not a good manager. Galtier was an excellent manager. Jocelyn Gourvenic was like a manager who should be dealing with relegation battled sides, not a side that just won the league title. And now they're getting Paulo Fonseca. So he's under good hands if he stays, and if he goes, well, then hopefully he goes to a big club. Ugo should probably stay with Troyes, given his latter form of the club. I agree, but it doesn't look like Troyes are going to sign him. I don't know. I don't really know where Ugo's going to go. Like I said, if you're asking me right now, give a guess. Probably Lille just signed from Claremont Foot, so that could be an opening there for a striker. So that kind of makes sense to me. That could be a good opportunity for him. But I'd assume he's going to stay in Liga or he's going to go to Turkey. That's my guess, but there's been nothing really talking about him so far. Eustachio was given a long-term deal by Porto, and there was a few links out there as well that said that he's going to have a big role. So I expect that. I expect Eustachio to have a big role of being a potential starter this year. Porto, honestly, historic season last year. losing a lot of their big pieces because that's what happens when, it's just when you succeed like that. So I think Eustáquio, that he's being used for marketing, saying, hey, Canadians, if you don't have a club in Portugal, Porto's the one to be. And now I'm a Porto fan. So I don't know, man. I think Eustáquio really is going to show what he can do and hopefully have a big season for Porto. But do you see England doing well in the World Cup? I hope not. I think they have a pretty easy group. And they have a relatively easy side of the bracket. So they'll probably go on a decent run. But and what's up with the Richie Larea situation? Yeah, we're gonna do our regular transfer stream. This is supposed to be like the friendly stream today, but we're gonna be doing the transfer stream tomorrow, and we'll go into real detail on that, especially with Richie. But I mean, yeah, it seems like he's gonna be loaned out. Championship clubs are interested, and then 2 MLS clubs were mentioned: the Vancouver Whitecaps and Dallas. But I believe his rights, they don't belong to Toronto now, so I'm pretty sure they belong in order to Cincinnati. So I'm pretty sure if he comes in, Cincinnati will have first grabs on him, if I read that correctly. And then if someone wants to trade or give them money for him and buy his rights, they can. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that situation. I'd assume Richie's going to stay in Europe, though. Atiba is such a feel-good story. Glad he can see his World Cup before he finishes his career. Yeah, for Atiba Hutchinson, man, I want to see him hit 100 caps for Canada, which, I mean, he's only a few away now, so he'll probably do that at the World Cup and then hopefully retire on top at Besiktas. I think that would be a wonderful end to just a really, really good person, and as well as just a class act all around. Thoughts on Larea to Vancouver? I don't know if Vancouver's actually in or not, if he agreed to go to Vancouver. I feel like Vancouver's probably fine on wingbacks. They play that 3-4-2-1 system. The Home can drop back there when need be. Godinho's in there as well, Raposo. I don't really think that's a fit. I think that I would have to take a look more in depth at some other MLS sides who would maybe be desperate for a right back, left back, wing back. But for me, I don't know. And I also, like I said, I read that story very briefly of him talking about that his rights would technically go to Cincinnati first, and then they may have to trade somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. So I'll have to take a look at a few clubs. I haven't really looked at Dallas's depth, what they're like on their wing backs, or I think they play a 4-3-3, so they're right, left back. But yeah, man, I don't know. I doubt he's going to go to Vancouver. I'd assume he's going to stay in England and go to the championship would be my bet. The Qatar choice is somewhat questionable. I wish that we had a group at the World Cup. I think Morocco is better than them, so I don't see as a decent prep. Uruguay is much better. Very excited. Yeah, well, given what was there, like I said, Uruguay is a great get. It's a good get. Clearly, like I said, they had 3 matches in the June window against CONCACAF nations. This will be another decent test against Canada. The Qatar one, it's the side outside of CONCACAF. It's a side going to the World Cup. I know, I keep saying this, I know that they're the hosts, but they are the defending Asian Cup champions. This is still a good side. It's decent prep and what was given and what was available. I'll take it. Bayern are interested when they sell Lewandowski. Maybe, man. Those David to Bayern rumors came quick, and then they left just as fast. So, I don't know. I wouldn't hold my breath that David's going to be going to Bayern. He's not really a Lewandowski replacement. What I've been hearing out of the Bayern camp is that they're not going to push to get a replacement maybe this season for Lewandowski if he does leave, but in the future they want someone who they believe can be molded to a Lewandowski type striker. I don't think that's David. So that makes me really question that. I really think that Juve would have been a good fit for David. They play in the 4-4-2 system, partner him up with Vlahovic up front. It's what he plays with at Lille is what he plays with for Canada in the front too. Not a lot of top-end clubs play in that system, so Bayern certainly don't. They play with the 4-2-3-1/3-4-2-1, so I don't know. I felt like Juve could have been a decent fit. So I think, like I said, David's just going to be calm and take a look at what projects come his way. The price tag for JD is quite high. I don't disagree with that. And some teams, which explains why, I mean, he's got a very high, only a select few. And that's the biggest thing is what projects are going to come David's way that he wants to be a part of, who can afford his price tag. And honestly, for me, it screamed a Premier League side. It almost screams like a West Ham. A West Ham can throw in that kind of money. They're throwing that kind of money at Scamacca. But I don't think Jonathan David's interested in going to West Ham. I think he'd want to wait, bet on himself at Lille, bet on himself at the World Cup, and hopefully get that bigger name club that's going to be sniffing him. JD is overvalued. That's the main problem for him to be moved. I mean, I don't know, but he's still young. Scored 15 goals, followed up by 13, won a league on title, dethroned PSG. Unbelievable goal ratio for Canada, and he's got a World Cup to prove himself. So, like I said, I mean, if he stays place, it's fine. Like, it's fine. I'm not that worried with him staying place at Lille. I'm really not under the new circumstances. They're completely rebuilding that team. That doesn't look nothing like it did when they won the league title. He scored 2 goals and an assist. I know it's a first preseason match against not a very good side, but regardless, I don't know, man. I have hopes that this season can still be a pretty good one for him. I hope Ubo dies to go to Turkey, especially after seeing I hope Ubo dies go to Turkey, especially after seeing, I don't know who G is. You mean JD? Probably what you meant. Can hold his own in a top 5 league. Yeah, I think Ubo. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where Ubo's gonna go. There's been nothing on him so far. But he's being shipped around. He's been told to find another club. Liga, I'd hope that's where he stays. He showed that he can score and be effective in a top 5 league. So there's got to be interest in him. Lille just signed a new striker from CanMNT, so that's got to be like a potential, man. Yeah, I don't know. We shall see. Is Larin to Nottingham Forest a done deal? Larin signed with Club Bruges, my man. Joining up with Tajon Buchanan. Going to be a nice little tandem there. So we're real Club Bruges fans now as Canadians. I can see Ugbo being quite successful at a mid-table Turkish club. Well, maybe, and I thought about this too, and I was going to do a video, but maybe I'll just spill the beans. Yeah, I agree. I think Ugbo would be successful in Turkey. Maybe Haji Wright's replacement. I don't know if Haji Wright signed for Antalyaspor. I don't know if any U.S. men's national team fans in the chat, did Haji Wright sign there? Or is he going to be maybe moved on somewhere else? I don't remember Wright signed, but I thought he was on loan last season, and he just ripped up that league. So there could be an opening for a striker there Ugbo could go to. They were on the rise at the second half of the season. But Lille just signed, like I said, Lille just signed a striker. I'm excited to see him come in, adds a little bit of quality to that side, and he scored 14 goals, Bio did. And coming from CanMNT, they need to find a replacement. So Ugbo could be that. We'll have to see. Hope Ugbo doesn't go to Turkey. After seeing that he... Okay, gotcha. That makes more sense. I was curious to see what you were saying there. Okay, hope Ugbo doesn't go to Turkey after seeing that he can hold his own in a top 5 league. And I agree with that. We'll take a look right now at the Liga title. Or the Liga standings. Schedules. I don't know. Remy Cabella. All right. Take a look here at a few clubs that I think he could go to. Because I think he should stay in France. He showed that he can score. It's a top 5 league. Like, Wendo left Nantes, so that could be an opening there. Nantes will be in Europe as well. I don't know if that changes things, but I mean, for me, that's a big one, man. I'd say Nantes is a big one. CanMNT is a big one, and those are the two that stick out for me. Wendo is moving on. There's an opening. Bio just signed for Lille. There's an opening there. That's kind of where those are two clubs that just hypothetically I would take a look at and be like, you know what, those are fits for Ike Ugbo. Am I the only one who believe that the MLS re-entry draft is stupid? You're not the only one, man. You're not the only one. Tough few months for Richie, hoping for a rebound. I am too. I just want him to go to a club that is going to give him the opportunity. He needs to go somewhere where he's going to start. That's a fact. He's got to really shop himself around. If he's not going to play in the championship, there's not going to be a clear opening for him to play in that league leading up to the World Cup. Go back to the MLS. Pick a team that will take you. You're one of the best fullbacks in the league. He was going to be offered the biggest contract for a fullback in the league before he moved on. Join up with Cincinnati, Dallas. I don't care. Just play. That has to be the goal right now. But I'm hoping and I think that there will be a club in the championship that will give him starting minutes. Like when he played for Forest, which wasn't much, he looked on pace. Ah, I blocked Yeet. How do I unblock him? Ah. Sorry, Yeet, if you're watching this. I didn't mean to block you. I meant to put you in a timeout because you're annoying. But, all right. Well, we blocked Yeet. So anyone who thought his comments were poor and there was no knowledge behind any of them, you're right. But I didn't mean to block him. I meant to put him in a timeout because he cracks me up every once in a while just with some of the the blind takes when it comes to the U.S. men's national team and the reason that they're so much better than Canada. But that's my bad. Sorry, Yeet, if you're watching. Didn't mean to block you, but we move. We're fine. Not a big deal. Other than Vancouver, there was some interest in Larea from FC Dallas. However, due to the reentry draft, someone is going to have to trade for him. Yeah, like I said, I heard that it's Cincinnati. And Cincinnati is a good place, man. They got good fans in Cincinnati. They've been turning this team around. Brenner's actually on form. They have a good coach. I don't know what the opening looks like for the fullbacks, but if Cincinnati is one of the ones to pick up, I'm kind of for that. I wouldn't mind that. But like I said, I still do think he's going to stay in Europe. Do you think that we would win against Uruguay? I don't know about win. I think we'll have a decent matchup, maybe a draw. But what again, it's a friendly. It doesn't really matter. I would argue that Canada is better than Ghana and Tunisia as well. I agree with that, 100%. Larian move was a good move. I agree on that. I have a $5 bet that JD wins the scoring title at the World Cup, and it will pay $5,005. Bold, man. I like that. Do you know if there's a way that we can watch Club Brugge similar to One Soccer plus Lille? I believe DAZN has it. Is that what Canucks? Yeah, I believe they have Club Brugge games. I don't know if it's continued on for this next upcoming season, but not every game. Yeah, it's DAZN. DAZN's a joke. The shine was worn off of JD after the second half of the season. I think betting on himself for a big year is the right move. Haji is not still with Antalyaspor. Latest was a move to Hull City. So yeah, so Antalyaspor would be the club I would link, like me personally, but I would think could be a good fit for Ike Ugbo. They need a striker. So yeah, so I mean, if you ask for my three clubs, that's it. Nantes and Liga, mainly, and that's maybe the dream move. If Nantes can land a player like Ike Ugbo, I mean, they're playing in Europe. They'll be in the Europa League after winning the Cup. They're a good team. They're a fun team to watch. I really like that club. That would be almost like a bit of a dream. I don't know if it's overly realistic for Ugbo, but that could be a dream. Clermont Foot would be an interesting one as well. After losing a striker, they'll be battling relegation more than likely, but Ugbo has shown that he can play in that type of system. Or if he's going to go to Turkey, a club like Antalyaspor. Haji Wright had a really good season there. You can't take that away from him. I think Ugbo could probably hope to replicate that form. They'll be looking out for a striker. So there you go. 3 complete shots in the dark where I think Ike Ugbo could potentially go. If you have another club in mind, feel free to put it in the comments. Mad respect to the Uruguay program. They have 5 million people compared to 40 million in Argentina and 200 million in Brazil, and they always qualify. Yeah, Uruguay is a good story, and they've had some good runs at the World Cup as well, and a couple Americas that they won. They have some good players, and my history is correct. They used to be a part of Brazil, I think. We can definitely learn a lot from Uruguay. Nottingham low-key disrespected Larea every time he was on the pitch. And he looked... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, Nottingham Forest didn't pick up any Canadian national team fans right there. I hope he gets loaned out. He's not going to play it for us, so it's kind of a moot point, but he'll be going hopefully somewhere in like the championship. Qatar, no pushovers. They're very good during the last year's Gold Cup. Yeah, and like I said, man, they're the defending champions of Asia right now. They have a good core. They came a long way in their program. I think they would have, honestly, I personally think they would have qualified for the World Cup regardless of being hosts. It'll be a good side. Like I'm happy with that. And so is Uruguay. Uruguay's a great test. So I think these are 2 countries that we can learn a lot from, and I'm really excited to see what they can do. Tejan and Laren both assisted today, I believe. Yes. I thought Tejan scored, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't watch the game. I was finishing up a video for One Soccer, but I thought he scored. But all right. I don't think Canada are better than Ghana, maybe the same level, but Canada are better than Tunisia. Man, I don't know. I don't rate Ghana that highly, but maybe with all their new recruits with like Inaki Williams and Hibbity coming in, I think Ghana could maybe turn it up. But I don't know. I think Ghana squeaked into the World Cup. Very, very lucky to be there. But they're adding pieces, so we'll see. That's my opinion. I mean, other people probably will watch Ghana more, but every time I've watched them, they do not look convincing. Hadji had an okay season, but a great finish. Yeah, I mean, yeah, scoring 14 goals. I mean, coming from, I think he was on loan from the Danish league where he just wasn't producing. This was kind of a bit of a breakout. Obviously, if any U.S. men's national team fan will have a better idea, but I don't know. If I was Hadji right and seeing what he was doing the last couple seasons to what he did last season with Antalyaspor, not bad, man. Not bad. I'm curious if any Belgians, Croatians, or Moroccans will be playing for clubs that our Canadian men's national team players are also playing for. Yeah. Well, Mazraoui is playing with Alphonso Davies at Bayern, so there's two fullbacks. One will be playing right back, one will be playing left back, so there's two right there. I don't know if any other ones come to mind, Moroccans or not. I think there may, yeah, no, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's one at Club Brugge or not. What is the latest on Ike Ugbo? Nothing, my man. Absolutely nothing. But like, I gave out a few clubs. I assume that he's gonna go to Liga or the Turkish league, but those are just guesses, man. I wish I had more on it. I think Nantes could be a cool club for him. But yeah, we shall see. But this will be the last comment of the day because it leads into what I'm gonna be doing after this stream, and that is watching Free Agent Frenzy because I'm a Senators fan. So if anyone in the chat likes hockey, let me know who your club is. I've been a Senators fan since I was probably like 6, 7 years old. It was my first team in any sport that I love, and I've hated them personally for the last about 4 or 5 years because they suck and they were just a poorly run organization. And now all of a sudden it seems like they're on the rise. So anyone who cares about hockey, so I'm gonna go watch them because they're actually be interesting to keep an eye on for Free Agent Frenzy. I haven't watched one in about 3 years, so yeah, it's a good day to be a Senators fan. If you're a Leafs fan, enjoy Murray because. Yeah. Whew. All right. Well, guys, well, look at that. Got a Habs fan in there. Got a Leafs fans, Canucks fans, Knights fans. There's some good ones. But, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little stream. We'll be back tomorrow for a transfer-specific stream. So, I'll go into more detail on Richie Laryea. I think that's going to be the main point. Probably David as well, staying at Lille versus going. And, of course, Ike Ugbo. We can always, always theorize. So, tomorrow's stream will probably be at 1 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, we're going to go watch Free Agent Frenzy. So if any of you guys are going to go enjoy that, I hope you do. Senators fans will. But I see that there's a Rangers fans, a Pens fan in there. I wore number 66 my entire hockey career because of Mario Lemieux. So Mario Lemieux is a guy who means a lot. Very, very good hockey player. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. Be sure to drop a like, drop a sub on your way out if you're new to the channel. And we will see you next time. Cheers, friends.